Jeremy Hunt, the British Chancellor of the Exchequer, is addressing the British Parliament. Let's listen in to what he has to say.
In its support for the Independent Monetary Policy Committee at the Bank of England as it takes action to return inflation to the 2% target. Despite continuing global instability, the OBR report today that inflation in the UK will fall from 10.7% in the final quarter of last year to 2.9% by the end of 2023. That is more than halving inflation. High inflation, Madam Deputy Speaker, is the root cause of the strikes we've seen in recent months. We will continue to work hard to settle those disputes, but only in a way that does not fuel inflation. Part of the fall in inflation predicted by the OBR happens because of additional measures I take today. Firstly, I recognise that even though wholesale energy prices have been falling, there is still enormous pressure on family finances. Some people remain in real distress, and we should always stand ready to help when we can. So after listening to representations from Martin Lewis and other experts, I today confirm that the energy price guarantee will remain at £2,500 for the next 3 months. This means the £2,500 cap for the typical household will remain in place when energy prices remain high ahead of an expected fall in prices from July. This measure will save the average family a further £160 on top of the energy support measures already announced. The second measure concerns over 4 million households on prepayment meters. They're often the poorest households, but they currently pay more than comparable customers on direct debit. Ofgem has already agreed with suppliers a temporary suspension to forced installations of prepayment meters, but today I go further and confirm we will bring their charges in line with comparable direct debit charges. Under a Conservative government, the energy premium paid by our poorest customers, our poorest households, is coming to an end. Next, I have listened to representations from the honourable members for East Devon, North Cornwall, Combe Valley and Central Suffolk and North Ipswich about the risk to community facilities, especially swimming pools, caused by high costs. When times are tough, such facilities matter even more. So today I am providing a £63 million fund.
Order! We want to hear what the Chancellor of the Exchequer is actually saying. Enough. Chancellor.
Today I am providing a £63 million fund to keep our public leisure centres and pools afloat. I have also heard from my right honourable friend, the Charities Minister, and his Secretary of State about the brilliant work third sector organisations are doing to help people struggling in tough times. They can often reach people in need.
All right, so that was Jeremy Hunt there. He's presently addressing the British Parliament, the House of Commons. It'll be very interesting to see as to what will be announced in the spring budget then. To give us more perspective in terms of what the expectations of the British public are, we're being joined by our correspondent Alex Isat, who's of course been tracking the story very closely for us. Alex, this is a big moment, isn't it? I mean, for the Rishi Sunak government and also for Jeremy Hunt. This is the spring budget. Britain is going through a difficult patch financially. Tell us more as to what is, of course, expected.
You're absolutely right. The UK has been going through a really dreadful cost of living crisis, not just fuelled by the COVID pandemic of people leaving their workspaces, but also Liz Truss's government, where £50 billion to the UK economy was potentially lost because of that mini budget. Of course, now we have the spring budget, and there has been a bit of stabilisation since that market turmoil. So what we're expecting in this particular spring budget is to try and keep that stability going and not really to focus too much on major growth. Jeremy Hunt said that we're expecting inflation to be hitting back to that 2% by the end of 2023. And obviously at the moment we're still in double figures. And that's what he's been saying is the reason behind all of these strikes that we are seeing today on a daily basis and obviously in the weeks and months to come. So it's likely that he won't be mentioning that there'll be a huge pay rise to all the public sectors, because if he's mentioned that straight off the bat, that he expects inflation to come straight down, then he's not going to be giving out huge pay rises as they've been asking for with the cost of inflation going up. But also the public is expecting to at least get some kind of buffer on all of the other cost of living issues that they've been dealing with. Fuel cap, we understand that there's going to be a freeze to that. It was meant to be going up 12p, but now it's going to be frozen. And of course the energy price cap, which is going to remain at £2,500. But the interesting part of that energy price cap is that the £400 that was being given out to families over the winter period, that won't continue. So although we'll be seeing the same price cap, actually people are going to be paying a little bit more for their energy, despite that energy is coming down in price. This is just giving a little bit of a buffer to the government to ensure that those people can still afford their cost of living, for the bills, for the energy. But I think people will still be looking to expect a lot more in the short term to even help them through. We're still going through a really cold snap at the moment. It might have been a mild winter, but it hasn't finished yet. So people will still be asking about their heating and also about food and vegetables coming into the country as well.
Absolutely indeed, Alex. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those details from London. We'll of course come back to you as more details emerge in this story. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.